Okay.
Well, coffee's on, face is on, hair is up, clothes are on. As I actually started this recording in the bathroom. Okay. Good morning, everybody. If anyone's on.
Good morning.
Welcome, Natalia. And I am so excited that you were inspired like I was over the same video at 2 a.m. this morning. I was going to actually, I'm sure it's still here. I think our conversation's probably still pretty easy to find here without video.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Let's play it.
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm on the right screen share. New share. Here we are. LinkedIn. If anyone doesn't know how to use Zoom, give me a shout. It's an amazing tool and so much fun. Okay, where is that video? Gonna scroll up. Wow, we had quite a good conversation. Okay, I'm gonna play this. How do I get sound off of it? Sound up, start over. If anyone who doesn't know who Gary Vee is, you gotta follow this man.
Yes.
We live in a world where Google search is enormously important. There is an ad product that Google allows you, which is somebody searches on Google something, but then on YouTube, you have the ability to do a pre-roll video based on what they search on Google, even if the two have nothing to do with each other. I could be searching how to order pizza or pizza delivery or how to work out or need a new gym membership on Google. A week later, go to a Jets video or a skiing video or a cooking video, but the pre-roll could be your company addressing them because we already know that this is what their intent is. That conversion on that video product has been enormous, but the reality is 95% of people making decisions don't even know that exists as a capability. We are way too vanilla in our decisions about digital and traditional marketing.
Okay.
Yep.
Stop share.
Mm-hmm.
Back to us. Welcome. I was
Thank
trying
you.
to think where we met in the furthest back conversation I can remember. Hastings Street at the cutest little coffee shop.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think we maybe met before that, but maybe
we did. I think we met at, I think it was a networking party very, very briefly. Yeah. But that was our first like official like.
It's when I started doing FICA Friday in downtown. I just moved from Abbotsford and was trying to restart. I didn't know whether it was going to be the ladies meeting or marketing because what was it called? Marketing. Internet.
Yeah, we're doing something else.
Masterminds, but somebody had already taken it, and I was so pissed. But anyway, and so I was trying out FICA Friday, and you were like, "You're just such a shower upper."
Back when I had time.
Back when we all had time.
I know.
So tell us a bit more about what have you been doing since? Because your studio's really taken off.
Yes.
Album.
So, I have Pardalis Studio for music and performing arts. And we now have 3 other teachers under me. And we have dance as well now, which is completely awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Wow. I saw it online, but I didn't put the two together.
Yeah.
So is that Greek dancing or?
No, it's ballet, musical theater. Yeah, because we're a performing arts studio. So yeah, everything that performing arts is. Yeah, so did that release an album like you said. Just walked away with the Fraser Valley Music Award for jazz, which was really cool. Yeah, I was not expecting it. I submitted and I was like, yeah, I'll just submit. Yeah, did that. Then in August, I because I was doing a lot of PR and mentorship with artists and was doing it through Pardalis Studio and was just feeling I felt my branding was a little off with it. So then I subdivided it into Maria's Records. So it's a boutique record label, which is great because then I have like a label that I can release all my own music as well under.
Like mom's name? Where does that name come from?
That's my mom's name. Yeah. I thought it'd be a nice way to give her a little, dedication to it. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on. We did Canada Music Week back in November. It was a 2-day conference, so it really expanded, which everyone seemed got some amazing feedback for it. So yeah, 2019 was a really busy, very productive year. Yeah.
Well, I've just been watching you grow. And your studio used to be your mom's piano.
Yeah, it was Pardalis Music Studio. And then we rebranded it a few years ago. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I know you haven't had time to come downtown because the ladies on the last Tuesday of the month. I have now rebanded the YVR Mastermind to just the ladies meeting inner circle, which I think just makes it more intimate. And I mean, it was started by Ricky Shetty, which was and a bunch of young guys, and so it kind of took something over and reworking it into something that was just not working. Just for the name. For me personally, I think, like you said, like finding it that if your name has to resonate with you, and it has to be important, and everything has to flow. And I've just purchased Tony Robbins and Dean Graziossi's mastermind software, so I can also run the masterminds for other people as well as doing my own, and start doing more big events up here in Whistler as well. So I've committed to doing 12 events in Whistler this year. I have no effing idea how I'm going to do it.
Oh, you can totally do it.
They'll be 1-day intensives for designing your epic empire or designing your beautiful life. So one or the other. Both. I mean, I guess you could do 2-day intensives. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm telling people so that they hold me accountable, because it scares the crap out of doing stuff in my own backyard. It's easy to come down to Vancouver and leave it behind.
Really? See, I'm the opposite. I'm finding it so easy to do stuff here in Surrey. And I'm just, whereas like the idea of going downtown and doing stuff now is just, I'm like, oh, it's too much work. I'd rather just do it in my own backyard.
Well, it's good to get out of the Whistler bubble, though, too.
Yeah.
Like, get in the habit of never leaving, because we literally have, if I don't talk to people in the outside world, we have a different way of talking. We have a different way of understanding, and a different level of sometimes just doing things in both directions of extreme laziness and extreme adrenaline. So it's really funny. It's a world of both extremes.
Oh.
It's kind of strange. I always say we're all a little broken here. That's why we all fit in. I should only speak for myself. But let's get back to our topic of Gary Vee. I took one little piece of advice from him probably a year and a half ago and got onto Anchor FM, and he's like, watch Anchor FM, get your podcast on Anchor. And I did. I'm like, okay, get off your butt. I put Epic Lifestyles, I put the ladies meeting roundtable on there, and I went and I was about to hire someone to make sure I could get onto iTunes and all that stuff, and then I was like, I went to iTunes to figure out how to get onto iTunes, and I was already there. Yep. Already done all the work. You can't do it now because
I know they stopped it
by Spotify. So it's pretty exciting. Like, you listen to Gary Vee and advice, and
that's literally how I built my studio. Literally, I would not have a business without Gary Vee. I went to business school, took all his business courses. I feel like I learned nothing. I learned way more from watching his videos. Yeah.
Well, I've learned a lot from you, so that's really funny.
Aww.
Because there's not a lot of people who just get shit done.
It's true. It's true. Most people talk about doing stuff, but they don't actually ever do it.
Most people would not have been on LinkedIn with me, typing away and going, you know what? Like, hey, let's do a Zoom meeting tomorrow morning at 9. Most people are like, oh, I got to get my hair done. Or blah, blah, blah. But it's really more important about just sharing the content. Right?
It's you know what? It's not always like who was talking to me and they were like, I need to hire a videographer and I need to do this and I need to that. And I'm like, look at Gary's old videos. It was literally a fuzzy video camera, and that will come with time. It's about I'm on my cell phone right now. It's all about your content. If your content is good, then you're good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to grab coffee. You start telling us what you know about Google AdWords.
Oh, so Google ads are really, when Gary talks about dark ads sometimes, and people are like, what are they talking about? That is kind of what Gary is talking about. So kind of like in the video where Gary talks about the fact that you're able to pick your audience based off what your criteria. So like in the video, he says, you know, he will look up something. So for example, say you are looking for a cooking class and you Google it, you don't find anything, but then 2 days later, you decide to look at Rihanna's newest music video.
People do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's what you're into. So anyways, what will pop up in front of the ad is a cooking class. So, and it's really funny because musicians use it all the time, especially mid-range musicians, but for some reason, businesses, local businesses should be taking full advantage of this. If you sell on Amazon, you should be taking full advantage of this, especially. And at musicians of all levels, like I was talking to a musician the other day and I said, I hope you're doing AdSense. And they were like, oh no, like you have to be more famous for that. And I'm like, no, that's how you get famous.
Well, maybe
So, yeah.
it's time for us to get on doing our, we've been talking about it for 2 years, the social media for songwriters. I taught
Yeah,
it
I know.
in Europe, and I was shocked at how many musicians, and more specifically songwriters, were so shy about being online. I mean, it was
Oh, I know.
only 3 or 4 years ago, and a lot of them did not have Instagram. They had never videoed themselves. I'm like, okay, everybody sit down, we're doing a video. If you want to go back into my Instagram, you can find just some really crazy fun videos I got. And you know, once you get them going, it was just
No, they're fine. Yeah, no, yeah, well, it's sort of this old school meets new school, and the two worlds are, the old world is sort of, I mean, they're scared of dying, and they are, and so they're really afraid. I had a debate with a bunch of not just singer-songwriters, but agents who got really offended because I said that you should be telling everybody to videotape you at your shows and uploading those videos. And they're like, no, like, what if it doesn't turn out right? And I'm like, if you don't have the chops, don't get on stage. You know, but it's true. Like, you need to be videotaping yourself. You need to have other people to videotape yourself, because all of this is just going to be out there, and it's how people are going to find you.
Yeah. And it's like Gary V's done. He made a very conscious decision, just like I did. As soon as my kids were done school and moved out of the house, I just decided it didn't matter what goes on social media anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
A little bit now, because now I'm a grandma, so I'm going to be, you know, looking at things differently. But if there's kids around, but how he has people, how he has someone video him every day in context. You never see his family or anything like that.
No, he's very respectful. Yeah, that's the same. Like my nieces and my nephews, a couple of my nieces and nephews have been on my social media because their parents don't mind. The majority of them, you'll never see any of them because that's my personal life. But everything else, yeah, I'm uploading everything. Yeah.
I was on a date with my significant person, and don't know what to call him yet. And he's like, "You're not gonna take a picture every time we go out for coffee." I'm like, "Yep, probably."
Yep.
He's like, "Well, then everyone's gonna find out about all these top secret spots." I'm like, "Yep," because then they'll still be here in 10 years. Those little retail places,
Exactly,
that don't do any of their own social media because they don't know how, or they don't do it well, are still going to be there. And he's like, but what about the hikes in the mountain? I'm like, nope, nobody needs to know where the secret.
No, exactly. Right? We pick and choose. Yeah. Well, it's I don't know if you saw a local blog did an expose article on this really cool bar on Main Street that looks, I passed in the middle time, I didn't know it, but it looks like an accounting office from the outside, but it's actually a bar in the back.
What's it called?
I'll put it in the comments. I can't remember. It's on Main Street. And so all the like Main Street regulars are all mad now because they're like, our spot has been exposed. And it's like, well, now that place is, I'll be pulling it up. But now that place is going to be successful, right? Like, I
mean, it'll have a little bump like this, a little social media bump, but like, hey, why not give that to the owners? And, you know, maybe they'll be busy for a couple months until people forget about it and go to the next thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I've lost you. Where'd you go?
Oh, I'm on Facebook trying to find that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not letting me do multiple screens for some reason.
What? I can probably.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, you can find it. Yeah.
Main Street bar exposed.
Yeah. It's an accounting. It looks like it says something. It starts with Z, I think. like accounting office, but it's a bar. It was super cool.
Big Macs Trivia Nostalgia. No, that's old. Colony Main Street, London Pub. See, I'm pulling in Adventures on Main Street Part 2. Colony Bar keeps coming up. They're obviously doing
They are.
It's weird because I'm in Whistler, so
yeah, I will find it.
My
yeah.
Main Street.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you finding the best social media other than obviously video? Is YouTube really pulling for you? And are you spending a lot?
You know what? YouTube, I'm finding the high days of YouTube is kind of past, though I think there's going to be a revival of it, and I'm not sure how it's going to play off. TikTok is killing it. I haven't quite figured out how the system works in a sense of my views will be like crazy high or crazy low.
My theory is if you put together the fact that Gary V knows how ADHD we are, and one of my favorite persons to watch on here is this psychology student, and she does little videos in her bathtub. But then if you miss a part, it replays, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the beauty of TikTok is it's designed for intelligent people. It's not just another social media app because they've got a link to Wiki and things like that. It's designed for smart things. Yes, just like when people are using 50 hashtags became stupid. But this is the same thing. If you're doing stupid cat videos, well, then nobody's going to come back, right? So it's not really.
Yeah.
She's one of the few people I watch, Gary V on TikTok, and this girl, I can't think of her name. Always the first person to come up, and she comes up with these great little psychology facts, like if you hand something to someone and you don't say anything, they will naturally take it from you. Psychology fact 101.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I watch a professor in the States. He's like an anatomy professor, so he actually does work with cadavers. And so, as a vocal teacher who's obsessed with the human body, it's not for everybody. If you have a weak stomach, I wouldn't watch it. But for me, I'm just like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then I love the download option, so then you can keep videos.
Well, the beauty of it is, I was trying to find this girl. I can't think of what her name is. 1 second, because she is amazing. Let's see if I can find her. So what people are missing out is the fact that 1 second. This is worth the wait. Trust me. This is her. Yeah, her thing is only JS.
That I may or may not use. You'll never know. Walk up to a group of your friends, and if there's like 5 of them, be like, hey, if it isn't my 4 favorite people, and watch their faces be really confused and try to figure it out. And if somebody tries to correct you, it's even funnier because they'll be like, hey, no, there's 5 of us here. Be like, hey, if it isn't my 3 favorite people. It's really mean, but if you're ever in an argument with somebody, be like, everything they say about you is true, and then walk on. So there's really one here, or if you're being bullied, give the person a sincere compliment. This will completely throw off the entire dynamic and throw down their guard because it's really hard to be mean at somebody that's like being really nice to you. Psychology with somebody's mind.
So then it just replays.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I just found the bar too, by the way. I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook, and then you can upload it because for some reason it doesn't want to let me upload anything.
Oh yeah, you have to send me a private message. So what a lot of people are missing is that TikTok will connect right to your Instagram stories, which I know a lot of people have a hard time doing videos. So I started out by just reading little bits from my favorite books, from my business books and stuff, just to see how it worked. And and then I did some fun videos of the snow in Whistler.
Yes, I enjoyed those. Yeah.
Oh, you saw those? Yeah.
I saw those. Yeah.
It's just like pure joy, right? But I have videos here that have 300 views, and this is from someone who's like almost 50 years old on this platform that when it first came out, I was too old. They wouldn't let me on. I remember when Gary V.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't get that, but I have gotten messages being told that I'm too old, and I'm like, I'm only 40. Like, it's 20.
Wait till they hear me say I'm only 50. Get over it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, come on. You know what? Gary talks about how it's really it's like buying land in New York in 1895, and everyone I keep telling this to, they're kind of like, no, not really. Like, they're scared of it, but no, I just got to get on there. And
I haven't heard him say that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Can you buy stock in TikTok?
I believe you can. I know you can buy stock in Snapchat. I tried to. I went to my bank and I was like, I want to buy stock in Snapchat. And they laughed at me and they're like, we don't know how to do that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, well, if they have, I actually, that has been one of my little side gigs for the year is how to buy and sell stocks. I have a friend who's a day trader, and I've just been doing like just a couple $100 over the year, like very little amounts of money. But more importantly, if you go to Scotia iTrade, they have a fake account you can set up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's worth going, and it takes you a while to figure it out. And then I went and set up, once I bought, and they give you $200,000 fake money to play around with. Really fun. So buy one of your each of your stocks. So I bought an AMW stock. I bought some other local companies because they say buy what you know.
Yeah.
And you just can't, at least you're interested in it, right? So it's really fun because now, like when I go to Kamloops to see my daughter, we go to AMW and we have this one thing they got to up is their coffee game. But you know, the rest of their food is good. If you go to the A&W in Abbotsford, it is the cleanest. It's cleaner than any Starbucks. The service is so amazing. They call you by name when your order is up. It's like I said, it's like being at new Starbucks. Better coffee, please, A&W, better coffee. But I mean, and the place is spotless. Like not.
Yeah, same here in Surrey. In fact, the manager was, when I went there before Christmas, was the manager who brought our food out. It was great. It was like, oh, it's just such great service. Yeah.
And more importantly, they just did a huge, if I'd had a whole bunch of stocks, they pay out huge dividends apparently too.
Oh.
Yeah, if you want to be a stock trader. But back to TikTok, and I love
back to
that because as you know, you've seen some of my social media stuff. I always tell people, it's like, even if you're not going to use it, go take your land.
Exactly.
I've taught that for 10 years. Like, I'm never going to use Twitter. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want anyone else to be using your Twitter. I had a guy, he was an author. His name was Robert 17. Weirdest name ever, right? Like, other than mine. And he's like, I don't need to go take my LinkedIn real estate because, you know, when you go sign up for LinkedIn, you just get a bunch of numbers after it. It's not it's not an actual domain name. It's just a LinkedIn number. He's like, it doesn't matter. I won't do it. No one else has got my name. No one's ever going to take it. Well, guess what?
Someone did.
Someone already had his name. He was not only Robert 17 out there. And he was an author, so it was actually quite important, right? He was a very well published, well-known.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very important. Well, I see it all the time with artists, and then they end up having to kind of rebrand their name because someone else has taken it. It's like, dude, just get out there, and any site that there is, be there.
Yeah. Well, and I have, you get these people who are like, Sandra too. It's like, that just does not look cool. I went through a whole setup, I got hired to hire the social media person for a large company downtown that was running software for actors. And she had done spent, I think, 1.5 to 2 years building the new back end of their software. And they were going to rename it. And she had never even thought about she had a name that they've been working with all along. And she had not taken, we got to the end where she was ready to launch and she had not taken the social media names.
What?
Yeah.
That's the first step. That's not the last step. That's the first step.
Amen, sister.
Oh my God.
It's just like when I started the Entrepreneur Collective, I didn't go into full launch mode until I don't even know how this happened. I was really tentative on it, because I didn't want to do a .ca. And somewhere along the line, the .com came up. I got the entrepreneurcollective.com, which is what all of the all of my trainings, courses, everything is under in the Mighty Network. If you haven't heard of a Mighty Network, it's amazing because it does all of your courses, groups, events. I haven't even fully started to utilize it. It lets you put up membership costs and recurring billing and all that stuff. Magic. But there's just so many pieces. I've got these 2 amazing pieces of software and you can only learn so much in them.
Yeah, I know.
But my point is, even though I couldn't get the Entrepreneur Collective on Facebook, the website had been listed from 2012 on the website with the email, which I own both of, and they're locked down. Like, I've contacted Facebook. I'm like, look, I've got the email, I've got the domain. Can I have the Facebook?
Yeah.
And just no one's got back to me, which isn't a surprise.
They take their time. Yeah.
But because I've owned the website, which is permanently locked up in their information, their about thing, Doesn't matter because they're going to click on it. They're going to be able to log right. If you go to Entrepreneur Collective, I've taken the Entrepreneur Collective YVR because then I can do YVR, JFK, blah, 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 whatever. I go by airport locations because that's where people can fly into when we get really sick.
True, yeah.
My opening act.
Sure.
Yeah. Just scared myself there a little. Anyway, so taking those domains is really important, or at least knowing, like thinking it through, right? Because if someone else takes it and you're going full on into business, full on into marketing, well, it gets confusing for people. So I had a speaker a couple of months ago at the ladies meeting, and she has her name and another author in a similar genre, but if you don't put in her middle name, you get the other author.
Yeah, I've seen that with a few people. Yeah, you have to be really, your first step if you're gonna do anything in these things is go get your properties. Get your properties.
Well,
get them all on your.
When I switched to Anyssa Jane, just because Carruthers is really hard, plus it just gives me a level of privacy, right? It varies the personal stuff, your banking and information very little. Anyssa is now a popular name.
Yeah.
For under 30s, whereas when I'm 48 years old, no one had ever even heard of it before. And there's actually, and I see there's a musician named Anyssa. She's a Mexican girl, like huge YouTube star and stuff like that. So I used to just fight with this porn star Anyssa and with the Bratz doll who has the same name. And so I was always trying to get the first page of Google, right? Like if you put a first name, first page of Google, I figure that's like, and you have a name where you could probably do that too.
Yeah, I'm pretty, yeah. Actually, I have cousins who find it annoying because if you Google them, I come up. Yeah.
You Google who?
If you Google my cousins tell me if someone Googles them, I'm the one that comes up. So my one cousin said he had an interview and he's like, yeah, my boss was asking me about you. And I'm like, why? He's like, well, because you came up, not me. And I'm like, sorry.
I see that as a marketing opportunity.
Oh, I do. I did. I said, I hope you told him where to find my music.
Did you bring my album?
Yeah, you should have had my drop cards. I don't think he was too impressed, but.
Well, let's cut this short, but that's also planned next week to do a couple things on social media for songwriters.
Sure, yeah.
Get shit done and get it done, and maybe we'll set it up. We can do a slide deck as well and get that set up.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out because I've been seeing it. I know Gary uses quite a bit as well, but I haven't had a chance to.
Oh, does he use SlideShare?
Yeah, he had one slideshow that he prepared that was really cool. It was like all these marketing tips. Yeah.
Well, I love SlideShare because it's public, and if anyone doesn't show up to an event, I instantly have content. Like it's okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been teaching social media for probably 10 years now, and I went back to look at it to send to you, and I'm like, oh, I could repurpose that. I could repurpose it. So it's a great place to store your stuff, and it's just one more landing page.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's SlideShare is owned by LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's been utilized as much as it could be. Like when Microsoft bought it out, it seemed to have kind of fallen off to the side. I really thought when LinkedIn got purchased by Microsoft that they would up it as
yeah. I mean, I think I'm in some ways I'm kind of glad that it hasn't been up because it means that you and I can do a lot more stuff. Like I'm working with a few guys in the music industry that I never would have had even the remote opportunity to meet these guys or anything. But because LinkedIn is not, it's kind of open share still, like you can message anybody.
Well, not totally.
Well, maybe, I don't know, in the music, because I'm hitting up music people and I'm finding I'm not being blocked to message anybody. Yeah.
Well, so you must be one or two people away from them.
Must be, yeah.
Third connection, it's hard.
Yeah.
Connection, it's hard.
Yeah, so I'm finding that like I've got up to, I think it's 5,500 people that I'm friends with now, and then I'm able to meet people that, I mean, unless I showed up at the Oscars or Grammys, I probably never would have met them, right? So, yeah, I love LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn is like You should, yeah, utilize LinkedIn.
I
don't know how long it's going to be like that.
Well, I just thought they would offer some of their Office suite within the program.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
More accessible and more like a CRM a little bit.
Yeah.
Like with Outlook and things like that, and have more kind of transferable skills within it, right? Even though I'm not a big Office person, as you can see, I'm using the screen that I was using is what's it called, Apache Open Office.
Oh, okay.
Which it's not the best, but it's it's free and it's open source, so it's kind of nice to support that. And often I end up using Google Sheets and things like that.
I use Google Sheets a lot. I do use Word just because I left out and I got it, the full Office one. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna let you go, girl. And but let's set a firm date.
Yes.
What's next week looking like for you?
Let me pull up Google Calendar.
What about a Friday morning? What day is it today? Monday. How about
today is the 3rd. The 30th.
Next Monday morning. Let's do Monday mornings.
The 6th? Yeah, sure. I'm free Monday morning. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to get in
I'm gonna write in my Google Calendar. You want to do 9 o'clock again?
Yes, I won't stay up till 2 o'clock. I'm doing I've been doing do you know what a 9-word email is?
No, I do not know what a 9-word
it's a great way to, if you've got a dead, like it's a new year, but we have dead lists of people, right? That are like, whether it's from, like, I have people that I taught social media to 10 years ago, right? So instead of trying to market to them, you just send them what's called a 9-word email, which is just like, hey, what are you doing? I'm doing an event on blah, blah, blah. Are you interested? Like, or even just like, hi, what are you up to? There's some really good examples. I actually just shared it. Where did I share it? I shared it. It's in the feed for the Entrepreneur Collective. In the feed under Building the Network. So go check it out. It's really cool. It's just some ideas for 9-word emails, whether in real estate or just anything. And it just just sending literally a 1 sentence, 9 words, but 1 sentence email out to people that you just haven't been in touch with for a while without marketing to them. Just like, like, hey, are you still buying? And there's certain ways to word it too. I'd have to go back to it. They used an example of, are you still looking for a house in Ohio versus have you, like what kind of house? I don't know. There was a certain way to word it,
cool.
Welcoming and just like, hey, no, we're done. We've already bought it. Oh, great. Well, when are you going to resell? But the point being, you're just reloading that connection. So for example, I have in the ladies meeting last night, what you caught me doing when I talked to you was I have 800 people that I'm sending personal emails to. And the key part is using their name and sending out a note. And I'm just like, hey, because I just put up all of our events for the year on Meetup. Nice. Last year, I was not a total success at getting them up every month on time. And, and I've gone back and checked.
Oh yeah, it's better to do it. Yeah. For the whole year.
So now I need to do it in a few other places. Yeah. But just sending out just like a little personal note. I noticed that Meetup doesn't like copy paste. After about 2 times, it goes, we see you're typing a little fast. In other words, you're copy pasting.
What's wrong with preparing?
Well, the funny thing is they'll let you send out a batch to 1,000 people that doesn't personalize it. Whereas why can't I copy paste my website and the link?
Yeah.
Like, I have a little prepared thing that says like, hey, here's our next event, January 28th. Hope to see you. But I've also got like, but then you can still personalize it and because it lets you know when the last time they were on Meetup.
Oh, okay.
Right, because I can see there's a whole whack of people that were looking for the event last week, but I had no events up last week, right? So it's like, hey, events up, here's the link. If you want to get your 2 months free, log into the Entrepreneur Collective and RSVP there, kind of thing. So, because we're going to do first 2 months for free this year for. So, yeah, so switching it up, but 800 emails is a lot.
But necessary.
Yes. Yes. Individuality.
Yes.
Okay. I said I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go.
All right. Okay. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you Monday.
Talk to you like Monday. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How do I exit? Okay.